I love garbage. It's so versatile. Not to say I'm saving banana peels, though there is a composter in the garage. But there is a time in every wargamer's life when they have the models, but not the terrain. We've all played games with book hills, box buildings, and soda can fuel tanks. With a little elbow grease, though, you can turn your trash into tabletop treasure. So come along as I walk you through this wargamer rite of passage, trash terrain. So, having recently started playing Gaslands, I've got a lot of Hot Wheels packaging lying around. I've seen this idea online before, but I wanted to give it my own spin. We're turning these blisters into big concrete thingies. First, trim the paper off the bottom so it'll lay flat on the base. Then, trace the blister onto a sheet of foam core and cut it out with a little bit of buffer space. Once it's free, put the blister back on the foam core panel and trace the edges. This lets you bevel the base for a smooth transition to the table and gets a nice centered placement for when you glue it down. Do this for all of the blisters, and now it's time to base, which means cat litter. I usually use sand, but I wanted to try something new, and I have this stuff in spades. Brush on some wood glue and press it into the litter, and boom, instant texture. Now it's time to bust out the absolute goats of trash terrain. Electronic box inserts and Pringles cans. With these two pieces, you can absolutely fill a game table with setting appropriate terrain. For this build, I'm gonna make a big fuel station. Step 1, hot glue. Trace where you want the can and spread some glue on the bottom, then pop it into place. Then I grabbed some shelf spacers left over from a home improvement project, perfect as connection points for piping. Hot glue those in place too. For the piping itself, just cut some bendy straws to size and glue them in. Easy. To add texture to the lid, I cut a piece of metal mesh to fit. Shout out to the industrial scissors that came with gloves, now I can practice what I preach. And finally, one more shelf piece on top to add as a filling point. That's it, ready to paint. I want to pause here for what is probably the most important takeaway from this video. If you find yourself staring at your project and thinking to yourself, wow, this looks like good news, you're probably right. It does look bad, because it's literally garbage. I've had that exact thought more than once on building pieces like these. But here's the thing, you have to keep going. Your feelings about the project will change as you work through the process. And they always do once you get paint on it. Even half-baked homemade terrain is still better than playing on a barren table. Trust the process and push through that ugly stage. Future you will thank you. As we start painting, save your expensive miniature paints. I use cheap craft paint from the big box store. I stick to the same few colors on all of my terrain so everything looks cohesive as a set. We start with a solid black coat over everything. This mutes the colors, darkens the pieces, and works as a primer. Now, I was halfway through doing the same with my fuel station when I thought to myself, Man, this is gonna take forever. So I thought of a shortcut. And I figured while I was in the garage... There we go. Nice and yellow, nice and hazardous. Next, we paint the bases brown. Then hit all of the structures with gray, since I imagine them as concrete. And while you still have brown on your palette, thin it down with water and use it as a wash over the gray areas. Let it pool in the corners and recesses for that weathered look. I painted the piping and mesh of the fuel structure brown as well. After that, mix the brown with the parchment color and dry brush it across the bases to bring out the texture. Using a Sharpie, I sketch on some quick hazard stripes and warning symbols onto the tank. Now, usually I would have painted it on there, but I wanted to see how using a Sharpie went. Is it my cleanest detailing job? No, but it was definitely the easiest. Then, using that same parchment color from earlier, mix it with gray and dry brush the concrete to highlight the top edges and really sell that worn, scratchy concrete feel. After painting the main colors, I add a final touch, a light dry brush of metallic paint over the pipes and any brown areas to give it that grimy, industrial finish. And that's it! Some generic wargaming terrain made entirely from garbage. I'll be using mine for Gaslands and 40k. Not bad for an afternoon's work. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I've really appreciated the feedback I've gotten and the support as well. So let's keep making videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.